Hello, welcome to the Dream Stream. We are two neighborhood dream workers, Yiskah Koock and my dear friend Ellen Ronis, and we're going to work on our dreams that we have incubated last night and also talk about regrets. So, Ellen, how would you like to do this?
Um, I guess I want to start by, just kind of sharing a quick conversation that you and I had
Oh,
yesterday,
okay.
and how it led into this. I won't talk, too much in details of the conversation, but just that the bottom line conclusion that we both had was
Yes,
about regrets, about having
yes,
regrets, not wanting to kind of move forward in life with dragging the regrets. That's
yeah,
the sort of my thought,
yes,
and something that I felt that I was actually doing. And
yes.
so we were talking about incubating dreams that would help us to sort of transmute
Yes, we talked
the
about
regret
transmutation,
energy into, yes, transmutation,
strong energy.
yeah, into something that would then be, more positive, or just,
Maybe give a leg up to get accomplished instead of the naysayer in me who says, oh, I don't want to do this or I can't do that. No, I think we need the positive voice in
Mhm.
ourselves saying, do it.
Well, I don't think we always have to be so positive. I mean, I
Well, yeah,
have
I know. I
with
know.
that sort of new age world. I
They
think we
didn't call me for Pollyanna for no reason.
have, yeah,
I,
like,
too positive, perhaps, but please.
yeah, anyway, I just to finish that thought, just
Yes,
to help us to transmute
yes,
and I'm not even calling it negative energy. It's
yeah.
just transmuting something that's very real in us.
Stuckness.
The places that we feel like we've had regrets, and how
Yes,
that keeps us from living life,
yes,
in the moment fully now, like taking the
yes.
risk and saying yes to life. It's like, well, I can't do that because of this or that, but it's something that is based on old things that have
Yeah.
happened, where we hold on to, I
Old
wish I
stories.
shoulda, coulda, woulda kind of thing.
Yes.
And so yeah, so just to transmute that energy into something
Yes.
that is makes it so that we can move forward. That being said, we talked about actually trying to incubate dreams regarding that. And of course, I did not have any dreams that had, well, I don't know if it had
You
anything to
might
do with
have. You just don't remember
yeah.
it.
Well, what happened was I did wake up at some point saying, "Oh, I
Yeah.
just had a dream," but my mind was so consciously trying
Yeah.
to have a dream about regrets or transmutation or
Get
whatever,
that
that
mind
my
out of the
mind said,
way.
that doesn't have anything to do with transmutation of regrets. And so I don't now remember what the dream was, which
Yeah.
is really kind of funny. I mean, and amazing how our minds can really get in the way of everything.
Yeah.
Bottom
Look
line.
at it. Do you see this guy?
I see the
He's
puppy. Yeah.
Sammy. He's getting rehomed on Monday. I feel so I
Aw.
love him so much. He's just a
Mhm.
whole lot of needs to run around and be, come give a kiss. So
Mm.
yeah, it's sad for me, but that's okay. This conversation, Ellen, is reminding me of a dream I had had that I'd love to share right now. It was from a couple of
Yes.
years ago. So
Okay.
I had dreamed that, now I don't remember the details, but I was standing on a dock and a boat was pulling out, and I was supposed to be on that boat, and I was with whom I could only consider my spirit guide. Sometimes I have this beautiful, winged, wide-eyed helper. It might be my, right, what does Jung say? If it's an animus, it's a woman's reflection of the masculine, right? And
Mm-hmm.
anima would be the man's reflection of the feminine. So,
Mm-hmm.
so my spirit guide, or this beautiful man that's come to me in certain dreams, jumps first, and then I know I can do it, and then I jump second, and so gave me the confidence to know you could do this, and I believe whatever. That's very much a part of myself, I'm sure. My
Mm-hmm.
spirit guide. Yeah, that's a new
Yeah.
thing for me to contemplate. I'll get
Yeah.
back to you later. No, just kidding.
Yeah. So shall we work the dream a little bit?
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Does it have a title?
Leap of faith.
Leap of faith. Awesome.
Awesome.
And so when you were jumping,
Yeah.
these are just some clarifying questions.
Yes.
Were you jumping onto the boat or
I
jumping
was
into the
jump
water?
I was jumping onto the boat with an expanse of water. So I'm on the
So,
dock. The boat is pulling out
mm-hmm,
from dock, and
mm-hmm,
I was supposed to be on that boat, and I'm supposed to jump. I don't remember. I think there may have been some people yelling "jump" from the boat. That seems like it's
mm-hmm,
possible, and
mm-hmm,
I was hesitating, and then this spirit guide jumps, and then I jump safely onto the boat.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. How did you feel? How did you feel like before you jumped? Like, what was the feeling when you're watching the boat pull away that you
I'm
feel this is
feeling
supposed to be
I'm missing the boat. Isn't that an expression?
Oh, yeah,
Don't
yeah,
miss the boat,
mhm,
That's what it feels like. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And then I just thought, wow, I could do it. I felt powerful. And again, that's then because I didn't look at this dream in the Gestalt way, which is what we talk about, Ellen and I, which is that every person, animate or inanimate, some person isn't the right word, but we are everything in our dream. So now I'm seeing that for the first time. I was really psyched to have a spirit guide, but now I absolutely see that as part of myself, which doesn't take anything away from it.
No, I think that, I mean, who knows what a spirit guide really is, right? There's
Right,
no
right.
physical proof of that a spirit guide is this something being
Yeah,
that's, inanimate, whatever, in
yeah,
whatever, not
yeah.
a being that doesn't have
Say
a
more
body.
about the spirit guide, Ellen.
Well, well, I just, I guess it could be anything. It is some part of your psyche. It is some
Definitely.
part of your, it's your imagination. And I'm not saying it isn't like real. And I say real
Yes.
like this because what does that
What is
mean,
real?
right? It isn't
Because what's real?
physicalized
This life?
necessarily,
No, this
but it
life is a dream.
but it's real in your own being, your own.
Personal mythology.
Yeah, and it's not
Yeah.
just your mind because you're dreaming it, and that's not your mind. That's
Okay.
something in your soul, I believe. Your
Oh,
dreams
love
are
that.
about what's coming in the unconscious that place,
Yes.
the corporeal, the body, the soul, like something that isn't the mind, right? Because the mind is
Yes.
kind of shut down when you're sleeping, supposedly,
I
for the
love
most
it.
part, let's say. So it's like something that comes up from some completely unknown place in you, and whether that is something that is transpersonal coming from, you
Yes.
know
Outside of oneself or
right,
coming
whether it
from
is a
inside.
what do you call that now? I can't think of the word, like a disembodied, like a
Oh, yes.
disembodied,
Yes.
spirit or
Yes.
consciousness, or who knows,
Yes.
and even if it is something that is like a disembodied consciousness, then it is somehow connecting with you
Yes.
for some reason. And
Yes.
I don't have answers to this.
These are
These are
all just queries, and we just
concepts and
wonder.
queries and things that I sort of play with in terms of what
Yes.
does this all mean.
I love it. Well, I
But
did.
I do believe that it
Yeah.
is a part of you somehow, even if it's something that is not in you, that
I
it
love
is
that.
meant to be. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yes, and
So
that it is you can do
I
that.
just am thinking of like an underlying reason for having this podcast is because life is a dream. So it's good
Mm,
to work with our dreams and to figure out, explore the meanings and to, because then we can say, oh yeah, all of life is a dream. And
absolutely,
well, we learned it when we were
absolutely.
kids. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream.
Mhm.
Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. So nobody ever lied to us. They taught us that as babies.
Right, they taught us that song very young. Yeah, yes. Yeah. Well, Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, right, just that how do you look at life as a dream? Let's say you're not dreaming. Let's say you're waking up in the morning saying, I don't know, I don't have dreams. Like
Yeah.
how can we work, um
Yes.
how can we work life as a dream without getting too intellectual about it?
Right, that's the thing.
I
Keep
always do
keep the
this.
thinking mind out of it and the
Yeah.
intuitive soul. I love that you're saying
Yeah.
it's from the soul.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I
Yeah.
did have a dream after our incubation.
Okay. But that wasn't it. That wasn't the dream that you had.
No, no,
Oh,
that was
okay.
from a few
But
years
that's
ago.
interestingly that is interestingly, it's sort of for me, I sort of see that as about regrets a little bit. Like
Yes.
not wanting to have the regret
Don't want to
of
miss the
not
boat.
getting on that boat. So you're
Yes.
like, damn it, I'm gonna find a way. I'm not
Yes.
liking feeling like this boat is leaving and I'm not on it.
Yes.
So let me call something in, let me call some sense of, empowerment, some sense of strength
Yes.
and
Yes. And
you did
be able
that
to.
and then you were like so now you don't have to have a regret, you don't
That's
have to
right.
regret
It saved
because
me
you
from regret.
freaking did it, girl.
My
All right,
spirit guide,
so
who
yeah.
I am absolutely in love with. If it's part of myself, I'm embarrassed. so, so the
Hmm.
dream I had I also was like, I tell myself I want to remember my dreams, and it's not always easy for me because, and I always say this, marijuana is my medicine. And actually, New York just legalized marijuana. Did you
Oh
know that,
really?
Ellen? Yeah,
No, I did not.
recreational. Yes,
Recreational, wow.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
that's
So it's
interesting.
not only me that can be high all the time, but uh, so sometimes I don't remember my dreams because of that. And so I have to, how do you incubate a dream? Do you pray for that dream? Maybe. Do you ask for that dream? Do you tell yourself you're going to have a dream about something, and like, and I'm, and tell yourself I'm going to wake up, I'm going to remember it, and I'm going to record it, write it down, or whatever. And I think I did all of that. I prayed, I opened myself up, and it was pretty damn obvious. Very.
Hmm.
I dreamed that my current husband, who I've been separated from for 7 years, and who we are finally getting a divorce soon, um, was lying in my spot in our bed, which used to be his spot. It used to be his spot when we were married and happy, and he slept there. I slept on the other side. But as soon when he moved out, I'm like, you know what? Fuck him. I'm sleeping in the sweet spot, because it's just right there next to the bathroom. Um, and so I had a dream he was sleeping in my spot in the bed, and I was thinking, oh, I should tell him, you know, not to sleep in my spot. And I don't know if I did or not, but that was my thinking. And really, it was only a snippet. So that was the dream.
Hmm.
And if I might say, we're talking about regrets, and I think yes, my greatest regret, Ellen, is that I failed at my marriage. My
Hmm.
greatest regret. Not that I don't have other regrets. We'll get into that too. But the
Hmm.
fact that I failed at my marriage is very hard for me. I had to every time I see like a famous couple or Bill and Melinda Gates or Jeff Bezos and Mackenzie or whomever, so they have all the money in the world. They're getting divorced. I mean, models, gorgeous actresses, whomever have all the beauty in the world. They're getting divorced. So, yeah, I'm not alone. I don't feel alone in that. You're divorced. But I do believe that's my greatest regret.
Yeah. Oh, well, I hear that. I hear that. Yeah, and it's not all our fault, you know. I mean, you can, yeah. I'm not taking the sense of regret,
Yeah,
away from you, but yeah,
yeah. It's
it's
not. It takes two.
it takes two, and
Yeah,
right, and we certainly have our responsibility for ourselves and what
yeah,
we may have done or not done, and
yeah.
maybe a way to kind of
Regret,
explore the
regret.
regret is to explore what we I'll say this for myself.
Okay.
Instead of exploring the marriage itself, it's like,
Yes.
how was I in the marriage? Not about blaming one.
Regretful.
Well, you weren't regretful in the marriage. Oh, maybe you were.
I
I
think
don't
that's
know.
what ended it.
Oh, really?
Oh no, I wasn't regretful. I regret how I was in my
You
marriage.
regret how you were. Yeah. Yeah, I
Yes.
mean, I could
Yeah.
probably say the same in some ways, but I don't.
Yeah. Well, I know for sure it wasn't just me. You know,
Right.
I'm
I
not
regret how he was too.
I do
But I
regret.
also, yeah, I don't actually know if I have regrets about. I mean,
Okay,
I
yeah.
have, yeah,
Okay.
it's a little different for me personally,
Yeah.
but
I love it. We'll talk about that.
yeah,
It was just a
yeah.
experience. It was a growing
Mhm.
experience. How do you what do you take from that?
From my marriage
From
and the
your divorce, from whatever, any piece
um,
of it?
yeah, I guess I just it really pushed me into, after the the many months of, making it his fault and blaming him, even though I
Yes.
knew that was not true, but
Yeah.
just because I was angry and I was
Yeah, yeah, I
grieving
get
and
that.
but also, then after that, after I sort of let go of that aspect of it, I was able to kind of really look at who I was and what was my part, you know? I knew what his part was. I was very, very clear about that. But, of course, it does take two. And what was my part and who was I? And it was deep work for me. It was really deep
Yeah,
because who I was who I just am in a
that's
certain
right,
way, right? Like
that's right.
my insecurities, and that's a regret
Yes.
that I have
Yeah, me
that I had
too,
such deep insecurity, and
me
and
too.
that's and also not my fault, really, in a
Well,
way. It's just
own it.
but I do own it, but it's
I
not my
know.
fault.
Uh,
It's I
okay,
think
well, fault is a weird word. I mean, I don't like
mm,
that word, you know.
yeah.
A fault line is where, earthquakes happen, where the earth is like the plates are not together. So a
Mhm.
fault would be then
Well, it's like
something
I
that
guess what I'm
breaks
saying is
up.
I don't blame myself
Good,
for it. I just
good.
look at it as,
Yeah.
where did that come from and why was that?
Yes.
How did that affect him? I really saw how it affected him
Okay.
in a difficult way, and
Yes.
that's not his fault,
That's right.
either. And just to not just I'm using that because there was a lot of for me there was in the process there was a lot of blaming
Blaming. Yes.
in my side by self.
Yes. Yes.
I don't
Yes.
think I
Yes.
overtly blamed, but I was definitely like "Rah, him, he, this, and there
Come
was
on,
plenty that he did
Patty.
or didn't do, but
Come on,
I
Patty.
really was able to just see what in a way what I don't really know exactly more to say about it. Just what my
Yeah.
piece was. What was my piece in the whole
What was your
relationship, not the
piece?
ending of it, not in why it ended,
Oh,
but
I love that.
in how I was all along. Like, what were the certain habits
Which
that
may have
I
been
was
different.
exhibiting that were that contributed in a way to the breakdown of things in us? That
Yes.
contributed. It wasn't the
How many years were you married?
I was married, I think 8 or 9 years.
Okay. Yeah, you beat me.
Oh yeah.
Well, we got separated after 7 years.
Mhm.
7 year itch.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we were like just into 8 years.
Okay.
And it's been about 8 years
And
or
we are not divorced yet, but we are getting divorced
yeah.
now. And yeah, that's why this all is coming up, I guess.
Yeah. 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 I'm
I
sure
love
that
that though. Look at who you are, the entirety of the relationship. When you first met, when you were silly together in the aisle of the grocery store, when when whatever it is,
yeah.
and and how much fun we had, because we
Hmm.
did have fun. We had an
Yes.
awesome time.
Yes, as
Some
did
of the
we.
times. Yeah,
Mhm.
yes, you surely
Mhm.
did with each other.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, as
so
did we.
okay,
Yeah.
you don't regret that. So that's phenomenal and I
I
love
mean,
that.
I don't know. No, I don't regret it actually. I
Yeah,
feel like it was like school. It was like,
exactly.
how to be in a
I
relationship and not be in a relationship, you know. Yeah, it was a good learning for me. I'm very, very grateful that we had a marriage, that we had a
yes.
marriage, like
Yes.
to regret it would be that I regret that we got married. That we're gonna
Oh.
I
Oh,
couldn't
I love
possibly regret that.
that. I
It
love
was so
that.
much good and love and, playfulness and,
Yes.
so
Fun.
much
You
good
had so
and
much fun.
We had a lot of fun, especially at the very beginning. The first few years was a
Yes.
lot of fun, a lot of
Yeah.
laughs and a lot of, sweetness and
Yes.
yeah, and
Okay, me too.
and then it wasn't.
I'll try not to regret that because it does include the marriage, and the marriage was wonderful. And also, our son is 11 now, and he's amazing. When my husband first left, I was at a friend's house, and I guess my son was 4, and she's like, "Well, at least he gave you this," and I'm like, "Well, he better be a part of raising this child because my big boy is 16, So, and he's been amazing, an amazing dad for Lev. So I don't
Mhm,
regret that either.
mhm.
So what are some of your regrets? It's dreamer's choice always, whether you want to share it or not.
Yes, some of them are much too personal to
Yeah.
share, but
Yes.
yeah, and it's funny. I never really thought too much about regrets, but for some reason it
Yeah.
came up yesterday,
Yes.
very clearly that that I'm not necessarily living in a like um, kind of a joy and a
Oh,
spontaneity, and I'm
yes.
like, hey, why don't I just go try that or go live
Yes.
here? Just
Yes.
for the pleasure, for the joy, like why don't I take
Yes.
this course or do this fun
Yes.
thing or it's like I just kind of noticed I wasn't having a lot of fun in
Uh,
life and that
okay.
everything was feeling very heavy and serious and yeah, just not from that sort of lighter almost childlike place. And obviously I have to be a responsible adult and I'm on
Sure.
my own, so there's a lot to be responsible for. So
Yeah.
but let me see if I
It,
can, there's some regrets. I think one of the so I regret a whole bunch of um trainings that I said I would that I wanted to do but then
yes.
didn't.
Okay.
um and I don't want to be too specific because there's one that I actually may embark on.
Yay.
That's how this all came up, actually. And
Yes.
a particular um I'm just going to say a particular training that will
Okay.
be, rather intense,
Yes.
that I might pursue. And I almost don't even want to say it because this is something that I have done my whole life. Oh, I'm going to do that, or I would start to do the process and then back out and then
And
not do anything.
thinking, even if you
Anything.
say it, then you're more committed to it. But then you're just
No,
regretful
it's
that you
not that
said
way
it.
at
No, no,
it's not that way at all for me. And so, in fact, sometimes I can say it so many times to
that it
different people
diffuses.
that it starts to lose its charge for me
That's right.
because I think that I'm looking for something from somebody else. Like I'm looking for approval or I'm looking
Okay.
for acceptance or I'm looking for,
Oh,
yes, you should do that. The
yeah,
truth is, I'm the only one who knows whether or not I should or shouldn't do a thing. So,
absolutely.
so
Love
I'm a little
that.
reluctant to say,
Love
but I'm
that.
just going to say that there's something that I'm thinking of doing
Okay.
that is something that I wanted to do many, many years ago and didn't
Yes.
because I was afraid
Shut my door.
regarding finances, regarding money. I
Yeah,
think that's what
exactly.
it boiled down to. And it was so I regret my money fears, I guess, even really,
Yes.
when I just boil down to it. I regret having constant money worries. And
Yes.
I was really a person who could always earn money. I mean,
Yes. Yes.
I don't have a lot, but I always have had enough
Yes.
to do what I needed to do. So I
Yes.
think that I regret that. And now, many, many years later, I'm almost 61 years old in 2 weeks.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
going to do
Two
this crazy
weeks.
thing that is like, are you
Woohoo.
kidding? I'm going to start all over. And, you know, but I
Well, I
might.
was going to
But,
say that, Ellen. I'm sorry to interrupt. That we are not girls in our 20s or young women. We are
mhm,
over the hill. We're not
mhm,
even middle age anymore, unless I'm going to live to be 102. You know,
right.
we're over the hill. So at this juncture, how do we um, design our lives so that we don't feel regret, so that we do the
Exactly.
things we want to
Ex-
do?
Exactly. That's my point. I think that is,
Yes,
sorry to
yes.
keep, I didn't quite have that thought,
No, I got that from what you were
condensed. But
saying.
yes, I think that really is the point, is that why not just go for this thing, even though it may cost a lot of money
Yeah,
and it's a lot of time and a lot of
yes,
energy and effort. And it's like, what is
yeah,
it really going to get me? But I think it's just partly just for that. And
yes,
I think it will get me somewhere and I think it will
yes.
give me a lot. But um,
I
yeah,
mean, my regrets when
just
I
don't want
was,
to regret not doing
oh,
that particular work.
right. So I guess you kind of have to now. I heard it here
One way or
first.
another, whether I do a training or not, this particular kind of work that I've been wanting to do for a long time is going to happen. That I,
Exactly, exactly,
yeah,
exactly. And
I,
you'll find the resources within yourself.
right, because I do not want to regret. I don't want to be
That's
on my
right.
deathbed and not have,
Me neither.
yeah, have
What do
done that.
they say, like, rather it's the things you regret and not the things you feel sorry that you did that
Oh,
haunt you
absolutely. It's
on
not
your
right.
deathbed.
100%. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I did a whole bunch of shit that maybe was, I don't believe anything is a mistake. I don't
Yeah,
believe any
right.
training or course or way of thinking. I don't believe where you live, none
Or
of it, what
drugs
relationship
you may
you
have
had,
taken.
whatever. It's
Yeah.
none of it is a mistake. It's
No,
all just like,
it's all
okay, well, that didn't
formative.
work.
It's
Yeah.
all formative. So when I was in, for instance, when I was in my 20s and 30s, I regretted that, because my life is not, there's not corporate here in New Paltz where everybody's just doing their own thing. And I regretted that I didn't necessarily have a skill. I didn't play piano that I could then offer piano lessons, or I didn't play guitar that I could then offer guitar lessons, or whatever it was. I wished that I had um, some skill that I could then offer for money, and I guess playing an instrument was the big one. And excuse me 1 minute. Please go away. Yes. No, you're not taking the charger, so just put your darn phone down, hon. Okay, then go away. So I'm sorry. So please, I love you so much. Go out of my room, please.
Yeah.
There, it's green. Go.
Life.
Shut my door. So
Life imitates the dream world,
it,
imitates life.
right, I don't want to regret kicking him out, but I gotta do it.
Yeah.
Oh, and shut my door, honey. Thank you. So he didn't. It doesn't matter. Okay. So yeah, so I guess I wanted, if I could sing. I guess it's all musical regrets here.
That is
All
interesting.
these are all music. I didn't realize that they were all going to be musical regrets. Or like,
Yeah.
here, I'll step out of the music. If I knew how to, if I practiced Tai Chi, and then I mean, obviously I can't do that because of the multiple sclerosis, but, and then I could teach other people Tai
Sure.
Chi. And so I
Mhm.
always regretted that I didn't have something like that. But
Mhm.
then I came to realize I do have something like that. It's dream work. I've
Mhm.
been doing dream work since I was a teenager, and now
Mhm.
I'm not. So that's, I think that's good. That's one way of like showing myself that I can jump from the dock to the boat.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. You have already done that in a way, right?
Yeah.
Here you are
Here,
doing this work
doing it in the present time.
in the present time. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Regrets really, really are.
It's painful.
Oh, it's really, yeah. What was the word I used yesterday? It's I can't remember, but it's a burden, a
Yeah,
burden.
it
Is
is
what I would say. It's
burdensome.
heavy, and it's like it. We don't have to do that.
Right.
It can be as simple as
Right.
just
Right.
looking at that regret, and just recognizing that that was something in the past, that
That's
that was
right.
something that perhaps there was a lesson, perhaps there was a learning, and it
Yes.
doesn't even matter what it was or if we consciously remember it, just put it aside. And literally it's almost like a physical thing, take it out and
Yes.
put it somewhere.
Yes.
I mean, I'm
Yes.
working at, I don't know, what will actually work to not regret things, but and also
Yes.
just make choices now, like maybe to look at all the regrets, maybe make a list,
Yeah.
maybe
Oh,
make
yeah. You and your
a list,
lists.
make a list
Ellen
of the
and her lists.
I'm not really a big list maker.
Oh,
That's not
really?
necessarily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you were talking about automatic writing with your non-dominant hand. So
Oh yeah, but writing, yes, writing for
writing.
sure. Like
Oh,
writing
okay.
as
It's
a way of
separate.
processing.
This
It's
is
not
not,
list, not list making.
lists are
That's a
not
very
writing.
that's a Virgo quality. They make lists and then they
Okay. Yes.
tick stuff. I have none of that in me.
Oh, I don't
Unfortunately.
either. I have no Virgo in my chart. Do you really? I've never met anyone else with no Virgo.
Well, actually, I do. The place that I have Virgo is my North Node, which is kind of like where my soul is moving towards, and it's
Okay.
you can incorporate that energy into
Oh,
how you move forward. So
great.
there is something, there is a little there's a way in which my soul wants more Virgo
Yes.
energy. It
My
wants to employ that
my
energy.
sister and my father, no, now my parents are both dead, but my sister and my father are Virgo. And I
Uh-huh.
said to my sister on the phone the other day, it's like, because she just leased a new car. She just got an offer on her old house and she's moving into a new house and she does like mortgages and leases. And I don't want to owe any money. And I said to her, you do life really well. And she said, thank you. Like, because she knows that about herself. She's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I do life really well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And to me that means she pays her bills on time. She can take out a mortgage and pay it off. She can, lease a car and then when it's kind of run down, lease a different car. So
Right.
this is not my life. This is Virgo.
That's actually quite Capricorn type energy,
Oh,
but that it could be anything. But
yeah.
yeah, Virgo is very linear. Capricorn is very much like, I can do this. I can deal with money in the world.
Okay.
It's a lot about structure and making things happen, making things work. Not making things happen as in initiating, but just like there's a confidence about being able
Yes.
to be functional in the world and to create structure and to create a budget so that's
I think my feeling is like change the world to be a better place for me to live in. And I don't want to, no judgment, but like fit into this world and do a
right.
great job. I
Right.
guess I'm
And
not interested
absolutely.
in that. I
Yes,
want to,
that's very interesting, different ways of looking at things, right?
yes, yes,
Yeah, I really can appreciate that. And I think
yes,
somewhere in the middle, to be honest, because although I'm not linear, I'm air and fire. I have a lot of air and
yeah,
fire,
yes.
and explosive and here and there and all over. But I also have a lot of Capricorn, which is like very much about, I
Are
have a
you
really short,
Gemini?
I am
Oh my
Gemini
God.
sun, Gemini
I'm
moon, Gemini
sure we've
Mercury.
talked about this 100 times. My mom was Gemini.
Mhm.
L'air du
Mhm.
temps.
Yes. Yes, Larry Vuitton, right, it
Alan,
goes
I
on.
really think we're sisters. We have so much in our lives in common. It's
Yeah,
wonderful.
yeah.
So, lastly, I just wanted to share a dream that I was originally going to do with you because it all seems similar.
Oh gosh, we didn't even do that dream. Goodness, let's get to that.
I was at a party and hold on one second. I'm so sorry. Levy, get out of my room. Shut my door. Shut it. This is not okay. Thank you. Go out. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to yell in your ear while you're listening to this. Oh my God. This is my challenge right now. So, I dreamed that I think it was at a party, and I said this to two different people. I couldn't believe all my exes were there. And I'm like, look, it's Bob and Ruben and Doug and John and Lance, my husband. And then I thought that was so crazy that all my exes were at this party. And I told two different people in two different rooms about it, I'm kind of freaking out. But then I just started making out with Lance. And I was like, okay, and in my mind, he was the current one. He's a current one. So this is okay. Like, I was like, who should I hang with? And the reason I thought to tell this dream is because my dear friend John is a Capricorn. And so he had all those qualities that you were ticking off for Capricorn. So yeah, that was the dream I was going to do for you with you for the dream stream before we
Mm,
incubated. So
mm.
anything you want to say about
Oh,
that?
okay. So this wasn't about regrets. This wasn't the
This
dream
was not,
that I had.
no,
Okay.
oh, none of that.
Yeah.
None of that
Yeah.
is regretted. None of it.
Yeah.
nothing.
what do you how do you feel about all of that? How did you feel, and what was it for you? You have any, do you have any hits about it yourself?
I thought it was funny because it was like a funny situation to me.
Mhm,
Um, I stay friends with all my exes, not all
mhm,
of them. I don't know. Um, no, yeah, all of them. I'm sure it's not all of them, but even the man I lost touch with and he moved to Peru, he recently reached out to me to say, "How you doing?" So,
mhm,
yeah, I guess because they were all a little bit more than just way more than just a one night stand, but a little bit more than um, like two ships that pass in the night, to stay with our marina
mhm,
mythology or symbolism.
mhm,
Yeah, there's a couple of them that I don't need to stay in touch with, but they're on the periphery of my life. Yeah. So
mhm,
it's kind of the opposite of regret. Is
mhm.
like, yeah, I loved all of that, all those decades, and I really grew and learned about myself, and everything you do adds to who you are and who you are becoming, you know.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I guess when I kind of think about that or feel into that dream, there's a part of me that's going, "Wow, yeah, I did all that. I had all those nice relationships. I had all those relationships that were meaningful at one point and that were
Yes.
good." And there's something in me that's like, it's almost like looking back on your life and seeing, sometimes we can forget it's so easy for us to say, well, I regret this, I regret that, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. But what did we do? What were the things
Yes.
that we did? What
Oh,
were the
love that.
relationships we had? Like, I
Love it.
totally forget about that, like some of the good things, like, yeah. So
Yes.
in my sense of that, I'm looking into the past and kind of putting it all
Yes.
into one thing, one room, and just being like, wow, look
Yes.
at this. These are all these kind of really nice men that I at some point,
Unregrettable relationships.
unregrettable relationships
I,
that were good, and
I don't regret any of them.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
none of them. Not that I don't have regrets in
sure, sure,
relations, but none of those guys that were at the
right,
party.
right. I
Yeah.
mean, that's especially because we're on that theme, that's kind of where I'm going with that, but also
Yeah,
just
I
in
love it.
general, just looking at your, like, sort of scanning the past.
Yes.
And for you, it happened to be in the world of relationship.
Yeah.
So I'm not, I don't know what that means for you, but
Yeah. I have a friend who has had, like, I don't know, 5 or 7 marriages. Maybe not.
whoa.
Maybe it's more like 4. But I say to her, you don't have to marry them, right? Because these all could be considered marriages. I was with John for 4 years. I was with Bob for 3. Ruben is Phelan's dad. Lance is Lev's dad. It's like they all could have been marriages, but in my sense, only one was. Not my sense, but in
Hmm.
my, prerogative or whatever. They were just,
Hmm.
so I was teasing her saying, you don't have to marry them, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I'm sorry that I
Um,
took up this whole session with 3 of my dreams. I look forward to doing
no,
one of yours next
no,
time.
not at all. Like, most of the time we're working with my dreams, so I'm happy
Yeah.
to, I didn't really have anything that's, I'm having a lot of stuff going on,
Yes.
and a lot of, processing the regret,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
and there's certain things that are feeling very triggered for me right now, and
Yes.
certain ways in which I'm not feeling grounded and happy in my actual waking life, and so I'm kind of
Yes.
working a lot on that, and my
Yes.
dream world is isn't so super alive right now, because I
Okay.
think I'm really working a lot of stuff
Yeah.
right
Well,
here
that's what I
now.
was going to say to you when you said, we were talking about life being a dream, and you were talking about
Mm,
this fiction of a man saying, but I can't remember my dreams, and in which case I think you take experiences in your life that are dreamlike and work through them.
Mhm.
Waking dreams is,
Mhm.
and so if I'm Ellen and my dream life isn't really alive right now,
Mhm.
I'm thinking it's because my focus needs to be in my life dream and not in
Mhm.
my sleep dream.
Well, that's an interesting thing, like to take each particular
Yeah, right.
aspect
You
of
can
whatever's
work on
going on and
work.
just say, well, what is
Yeah,
that, and I guess for me the place to start would be the thing that's the most triggering in the moment.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, Robert Moss always said, um, treat your dreams as if they are true or real, and
Mhm.
treat, or potentially real, could potentially unfold, and treat your life as if it was a dream. So the instances
Mhm.
in life. So I'd be happy to work with you on that at another time,
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, that would be awesome
even if
actually.
you call me right after
Yes,
this.
I will.
Okay. Or maybe we could stay on. I don't think we can, but actually not sure. So
Anyway, I appreciate that, and I appreciate just that thought, and that's just something to sort of also,
yeah,
be a parting gift for people who are listening
yes,
is to like look at your life and like take one aspect of something that's really maybe on your heart or on your mind or bothering
yes.
you or triggering you or feeling not so good, and just look at that. Well, how does that make me feel, and what aspects of myself are in that circumstance. And if it's, say, something in a relationship with someone, it's like, how am I that person? Or if I can put myself in that person's shoes, how
Oh,
would
that's
they
always
feel about
amazing to do
me?
that.
And so that, because if we are
Oh,
every aspect, if we're looking at a dream where
okay.
we are each person in the dream or each aspect of our dream, then let's do that in waking life and say, okay, if I'm that other person who's triggering me,
Exactly. Exactly.
you know,
Yeah, if
yeah,
I'm the person who
one
doesn't like me,
tool.
why do they not like me? And maybe I could find some,
Yeah, yeah,
intuition or
right,
insight
or
into
whatever
that.
it is.
And
Yeah, yeah,
so, yes,
yeah. I
Ellen,
mean, I think,
always a
yeah,
great pleasure. I love doing dream work with you.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah. Thanks. Me too. Me too.
so I'm going to try
Yeah.
not to shut it down completely, but I probably am going to. So then just call me.
Okay, I will.
Okay,
I will.
listeners, thank you for joining us at the Dream Stream, and we wish you sweet dreams.
Sweet
Holamod
dreams.
metukim.
So I would say sweet dreams and or meaningful dreams. They don't all have to be sweet.
Very good. Love it. I know. This is something
The
I've had to
dreams
deal with
aren't sweet.
my whole life. I've had to deal with. And again, they call me Pollyanna, always seeing the positive.
Well, I
The-
love that, and I can definitely be the opposite. So I have had to be really
Okay.
honest with myself about that. I could be a
So
little.
put yourself in my shoes, looking at
Yes.
you and saying, "Oh, Ellen, it's going to be okay."
Okay, thank you. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Okay, love.
I'll enjoy that. All
I'll
right.
talk to you
Bye-bye.
later. Bye.
Okay.